It's time for them sleepers. Nameco over here, I'm Dustin. Before getting into our sleepers / undervalued, be sure to check out all our other football stuff we got going. And as always, get on the forums if you got any questions for us. And before we start the video, / undervalued. Not all of these guys are your typical / sleepers, but we just think these guys are going a little bit later in drafts, so just not getting enough love as we feel like they should.
All right, we're going to set the tone, start off with a guy that I absolutely love this year. I think he's going to be very much underdrafted, and that's Le'Veon Bell of the Steelers. He was the second back taken in the draft. I love this kid. I think he's guaranteed pretty much to get 3-down work. I think he's going to get double-digit touchdowns. He's a monster. He's got good hands as well. He runs hard. A great guy that you can get in the 4th, 5th round, around pick 40 to pick 50, that I think does have a very high RB2 upside.
He does run hard. I've watched some videos on him. Always stiff arming. You gotta like that. One of the guys that I'm really excited about is Giovanni Bernard. You know, not just because he plays for my Bengals, but this guy was amazing in college, and he's not really getting as much hype at all for being the first running back off the board in the draft. This guy averaged 6.7 yards a carry last year for North Carolina. 12 touchdowns, 47 receptions. I mean, this is obviously a versatile player. A very boring BGE is the only guy he's got to beat out for touches. Bernard's going to be solid this year.
All right, the next guy I'm talking about is Danny Amendola. And who is Tom Brady going to throw the ball to? He's got one guy, allegedly killing somebody, murder one. Another tight end that's all banged up. Wes Welker's gone. Danny Amendola is a guy that I loved last year. I love him even more this year because obviously I always have loved Welker. He's going to step right in that role. I think Belichick's going to want to stick it to Welker and show that it was a system thing, not Welker. I think Amendola is going to get a ton of targets if he stays healthy, which is a very big if. I can see between 100 and 120 catches for him this year.
He could easily be top 10.
PPR stud.
He could easily be top 10 if he stays healthy, but at this point,
it's a little...
the if is just so big.
But that's why it's a sleeper. You can get him later, which you gotta like.
The next guy we're going to talk about is Monte Ball. This guy is going to get a ton of hype, and he's going to be everyone's favorite sleeper, but we're going, a little bit even further. Not super crazy, but, you're going to hear some people arguing against him, some people arguing for him, but, we think he's an early second-round pick. He's really not competing with anybody out there in Denver for carries. He's got Peyton Manning on his team, and this guy was absolutely amazing last year for Wisconsin. 1,800 yards, averaged over 130 yards a game. I mean, found the end zone 22 times. I mean, all those stats are there. Great situation. He's going to get the touches. We think potential Doug Martin type numbers this year.
Yeah, it could be a beast. All right, next is a wide receiver, and that's Cecil Shorts. This guy actually had a pretty good sneaky year last year. Almost 1,000 yards receiving. He had 7 touchdowns. So, there's a lot of upside there. True, the quarterback situation's a little bit iffy. But with that said, he's a guy who can get really late. Justin Blackmon's going to be suspended the first 4 games, so he should be getting all of the targets at the beginning of the year.
Another running back for you, David Wilson. Again, this is going to be a guy that is on a lot of people's sleeper lists, but again, we're going even a little bit further.
It's also undervalued. Remember that, because obviously he's going to go early.
Because we think that he is well worth a kind of early round pick, 3rd round maybe, something along those lines. But this guy is just lightning fast. I mean, one of the fastest guys in the NFL as far as just making it seem like he's not playing against people at the same level. He's that fast. When he hits the hole and doesn't get touched, he's just gone. So you gotta like that. Every time he touches the ball, he has a chance of breaking one. With Ahmad Bradshaw out of the way, he is still going to be, having some competition out there with Brown, but we think he's going to be obviously getting a majority of carries. And if he gets 15 plus touches a game, I think he's solid.
All right, we're going to be talking now, or I'm going to be talking about Russell Wilson. I know what you're thinking. This guy obviously had a beast year last season, but we've seen him on rankings range anywhere from, as high as number 5 to as low as 11, 12, 13. If he lasts that long to where he's the 11th, 12th, or 13th quarterback in your league, completely undervalued. That's insane. This guy was a stud last year. His second half numbers are insane. A 120 QB rating. He threw for 1,600 yards, had 16 touchdowns, only 2 picks, rushed for over 350 yards, and 4 rushing touchdowns. That was in the second half when he really started coming to his own. Russell Wilson is a great guy. Everyone's going to tell you to wait on quarterbacks, so are we. He's a great guy. If you wait and you can get him in the mid-rounds, huge win for you.
Gotta love him this year. Ton of talent on that team now. Harvin as well.
Yeah.
Crazy. Next guy, Bernard Pierce for Baltimore. If you watched the playoffs last year, you saw this guy really make a name for himself and really kind of step things up and even hurt Ray Rice's value heading into this year as far as
we're moving him down.
People saying that Pierce is going to get in the mix and it's going to be a timeshare. Yes, it is going to be a timeshare. Almost every single running back now is in a timeshare. It's still going to be Ray Rice's team though, but Pierce is a very, very enticing handcuff that does have potential value even with the starter maybe staying healthy. It's very much been taped. He's going to have games where he gets maybe 10 touches and he does a lot with it and has solid games, but unless Ray Rice goes down, he's not going to have a ton of value, but he's still well worth the kind of mid-late round pick to see what happens.
There, you were looking for an adjective there.
Wait,
yeah, you came through. Enticing is the adjective.
Enticing,
the last guy I'm going to be talking about, that's Matt Schaub. And now this isn't for, a 10-team, 1-quarterback league. No reason to draft in those. But if you're in those 2-quarterback league, or especially if you're in this is a side subject, if you're in a league that starts 8 quarterback and then like a super flex, where you can put a quarterback, you put a quarterback in that spot. And a good QB2 is Matt Schaub. We really like him. Andre Johnson had a nice bounce back last year. They got a rookie to help out Andre and Schaub. Arian Foster's yards per catch were way down from a year ago. We think he bounces back to the 2009 Matt Schaub, which was certainly better than he was last year. Again, just a guy to keep in mind when you're looking at those QB2s.
And the last guy for this video is Lamar Miller. This guy has a great opportunity with Miami. Reggie Bush is gone. When Miller had the touches last year, he really played well. He was solid in college. He's got the pedigree there. He's
from the U.
He's a really good running back. We're excited to see what he does now that he has a chance of being the starter. There's really no one there that's competing for him. He's the man. He's going to get the touches. We think he has a big year.
And whenever we did our draft to see who got to talk about who, he was the first pick in our draft. Because we draft everything.
People have no idea what you just
It's like a fantasy draft. We had the 10 guys. We drafted it. You had the first pick. You took them.
Name
go. Fantasy. This is how we roll.
Dustin.
How you should roll.
Getting those forms. Sleepers. Slash.
Undervalued. CEO flip. President CEO. That's what he does.